All right, so you're thinking about becoming a firefighter, but you don't know where to start or you don't know what to do to prepare. So there's a lot of other things to do. I'm talking about more in the, I guess, progress your path, not more the mental or physical state, which there's a lot of things and many videos on that as well. And I'll make some videos on that later on. But this is more the real progress towards that, towards your goal, right? So I've been having a lot of people come to me and ask me, either random people at the gym, friends, family members, even people at school come and ask me this, right? So I kind of want to make a video, kind of explain all that stuff, I guess to guide everybody else because I didn't really have too much guidance on like that certain stuff. Obviously, like I did a lot of research on myself, which is good. I think many people should do that stuff, right? I don't think you're learning unless you're doing it yourself. This video is like the recording goes very quick, so I'm trying to speed it up and try to talk through it and everything. So there's two different sectors. Usually like a wildland sector and there's the structure side sector. So these two different things are split. They're both firefighting, but they're split into two different things. The wildland is more like you're in the wilderness, the shrubs, grass, trees, all this stuff, with most of the time animals too as well. And this is all over. I'm talking about like forests and everything. I know Forest Service is a different thing, but they're to me they're the same thing because they work with each other, especially alongside each other. So and so they're all over, and it's hard to see them and understand it without knowing this type of stuff. But once you get into it, you start hearing things, and it gets more familiarized with you. So on that side, you can start working right away. All they need is you to be 18, and I think high school diploma, which is what they want. Um, you make decent money and you make a lot of money during fire season when fires happen because you're out for they have a rule. I'm not sure what the rule is, I forgot, but it's a little shy of a month where you could be out working on fire, and that's a lot of money, right? A lot of overtime. And that one's usually like 30 guys. You guys stay out, and it depends on the department or where you work or how they set that stuff up. But it's usually 30 guys, and you guys travel on a bus and stuff and go to different wilderness fires and take care of that. To me, it's like large scale gardening or commercial gardening because you guys are carrying specific like gardening tools. You guys make fire lines and do like mobile attack and certain things like that. On the structure side, it's a little different. You can't really start right away. Um, you would have to go to school first. And schooling would be starting EMT. I know it's pretty cool because I've heard some people in my class or in other classes as well, people I talked to, where they had an EMT in their high school. So see if your high school has that, an EMT where it's, I guess, credentialed as well. You take that and you could have your EMT before you even pass high school, which is really cool. I wish I would have done that a long time ago. Mine, high school didn't have that. Other high schools have that. I'm not sure which one. I would have to ask around and see which one they went to, but take advantage of that. If your high school has that, take advantage of that. It'd be really cool. Now, after you do your EMT, you're just EMT alone. You would have to get your fire academy. So with fire academy, there's certain things you have to take. So there's a physical test. There's and certain fire academies require different things. And mine was a physical test. My fit one, your EMT card, and I think that is it. You guys do like a medical background as well and all this screening as well. That's separate, but I'm just talking about the actual requirements. I'm pretty sure you have to be 18 as well, at least, to do the fire academy. Well, mine at Ben Clark. So you had all these things. Usually the physical test is usually the BIDL or the CPAT. The CPAT's the oldest one. The BIDL's the cheapest one. And certain departments take different things. I'm talking about career departments. Actually recognize different ones. So the CPAT's usually always recognized as the oldest one. The BIDL's newer and is more towards like the LA side of things, and they usually recognize that one, and they will actually prefer it than the CPAT. It's just different and weird. They want to be new. That's fine. Um, After you pass that, the Fit One is it's Fit 1 through 7, disregard 6, and these classes are like basic introduction into what you're going to be doing and learning about in the fire academy. I'm talking about like fire behavior, learning about different types of construction, and all this stuff, right? And learning how to like deploy hose and everything. So, and certain types of attacks. And all this stuff you go over more in depth when you're in the academy, but this is just an overview of it, like to just introduce you to it because you're starting out brand new, right? So once you get your EMT, start working as well even before you even go to fire academy is pretty intense. So whether you could work before or after, after would be best, more ideal. But even if you could work before, try it just to get those hours. So 911, so working at EMT, you're either split from 911 or stationary like IFT, more like BLS side, which both of them are BLS anyways. 911 is, they say, is better experience, but to me, you're more just seeing a lot of stuff. You could help, but most of the time you're not really. Um, you're more like just seeing a lot of stuff. Unless you're like mainly on BLS, then it's more just the same thing of transport. IFT, you're just only transport as well, and with the IFTs, it's just to each their own. With the IFT, you work longer shifts, or you could have the potential to work longer shifts. Like you could work 24 hours. I know 911, you could only work 12s unless you have seniority, and then you could work 24s. And this is different based on different companies as well. I'm talking about the biggest company though. So with that being said, you need a certain amount of hours. I know Crafton. I've been talking to a bunch of buddies that went to Crafton for their paramedic school, and this is about I think they require like 1,000 to 1,500 hours. I think Ben Clark only requires 1,000 hours, so they're about the same. It's about the norm, 1,000 hours of EMT hours, like patient care hours. Just to go to paramedic school, you don't need paramedic school to be a firefighter. Once you pass the fire academy, and I already explained all the requirements you need. Once you pass the fire academy, you would basically be a state firefighter, if that makes sense. You'd be recognized by the state as a firefighter. Now you could go and apply to all these different departments, and you'll have your EMT as well. So, and this is all the structure side. Just like everyone else, you're kind of starting from the bottom. Everybody's going through the works and going through the schooling and everything. So you're going to be at the almost ground level, level 1 now, right? So everyone has their EMT, everyone has their fire academy. And so you're going to be fighting everyone for the same job. Going through paramedic, which I'm trying to do now, is a step up, which a lot of people don't like to do it, especially because it is a lot more responsibility, liability, and schooling's like a lot longer. I think the school they're still in the 6 months. It's a little bit rare. Usually they're about a year, and you pay out of pocket. Not too sure how much it is. I'm looking into it now, but certain schools are around like 10 to 20,000. So it's just different depending on what you get. And a whole year is a lot of schooling. So some departments, whether they have the money or the I guess staffing to do that, they could either put you through paramedic school or their own fire academy. Just always keep that in mind. It just depends on whether they know or see you as a good candidate, and that just depends on familiarity or whether you're just in good with them, if that makes sense. But the paramedic school is the how do you say it? Like the golden ticket, they call it. Like once you have paramedic, they will really want you. Right? And there's a lot of bonuses that come with that as well, and they have reimbursement and all this stuff. But it just all depends on different departments. As well as paramedic, you get to pick where you want to work, kind of. Like obviously you have more say so. EMT is just like anywhere. I have a buddy that went up to Washington, which is pretty cool. As an EMT, I would apply to certain. I wouldn't mind moving a little bit farther, but I would want to stay in the state. If that makes sense. I don't want to move like out of state. Like I would want to go up north. I think it would be a little bit more better, but I don't mind down here. But I want to stay more local. So after you do your EMT, you pass your fire academy, you can start applying. I told you you're at ground level, level 1, the paramedics level 2, and that usually the top level. They have other certs and stuff which you can get, which is great, right? More certs, more better, but in the long run, these are the ones that actually they look for and they count: the EMT, and the paramedic, and the fire. So if you have all three, you're the best ideal candidate, and they'll want you. Remember, the hardest thing is probation. So to me, and I've told this to plenty of people, I kind of figured it out. Probation isn't, well, they're gonna make it hard, if that makes sense, right? They want to test you, your physical, mental, and even just the way they interact with you and you to them, right? They want to see if you're cool. So the easiest way to pass probation is just be a cool guy, right? Don't be. It's not the time to nitpick and cry and whine and complain, because that's not what you're there for, and they don't want that, right? I'm sure you wouldn't want other people to be like that either. So just kind of put yourself in their shoes. If you guys have any questions, I've always answered and helped you guys out with all that stuff. Feel free to send me some questions you guys have, and I'll be glad to answer them. Thank you guys.